Hey everyone, Zach from OutThereVans.com. In front of me, I have two products from Ignik. These are the Ignik Firecans. We have the standard Ignik Firecan over here and the Ignik Firecan Elite, which is a little bit shinier over here on this side. Now these are a portable propane campfire that you can simply load up in your van, fire it up, have heat instantly, shut her down, cools off quick. Now these are my personal Ignik Firecans. I started out with this standard model about 2 years ago, upgraded to the Elite model about a year ago. So I've put in some time using both of these, and I'm excited to share with you why I love them. It changed my way of camping, and why I ultimately made the upgrade from the standard model to this Elite model over here. And we'll go through some of the feature sets of them and walk you through this product. Now, both of these fire cans are available on our website. The standard retails for $230. The Elite retails for $300. So you can find these at OutThereVans.com along with a variety of other accessories or DIY components for your camper vans. So be sure to go ahead and check them out over there. So really quick, before we get into how these things work, let's just talk about why you might want to consider a propane fire pit. So number one, my big reason was not wanting to smell like campfire for day after day after day. I love the smell of a campfire. However, I like the smell of a campfire while I'm around it. Once I leave it, I would much prefer to take a shower and get that smell off me. But if I'm out camping, I don't want to smell like that on day 4. I mean, who knows what I'll smell like on day 4, but I'd rather not just everything be saturated in campfire smoke. So that's number one. Propane burns nice and clean. You're not going to smell like a propane campfire, for one. Another huge thing I like is being able to, at the end of the night, flip the switch off, and I know my campfire's out. I can disconnect the propane. Nothing can ignite at that point, and it's a very fire-safe solution when we live out west in the land of wildfires. So then, speaking on the topic of wildfires out west, this summer in Colorado, we entered quite a few different stages of fire bans, including stage 1, stage 2. Check on your local jurisdiction in terms of what those fire bans mean. But in many places, these still classify as a propane-fueled stove. So these are okay to use during certain stages of fires where you may not be able to have an open flame, open campfire at that specific point in time. The flexibility of being able to control how hot or how low my fire is, the ability to, kill my fire at a moment's notice because I'm ready to go to bed, or I wake up and it's chilly and I just want to start up a fire for 10 minutes to warm myself up. This offers a ton of flexibility in that ballpark. Now, let's get into the use of these things, right? So we have the standard fire can over here, the Elite over here. Now, between these two models, they essentially function about the same. So they have a quick release top, and these are, designed to mimic an ammo can at the end of the day. But they have a hinged top that slides in on one side to be removable, comes down, and then it has a big latch to secure it into place. Same on both of them. This darker one, this is actually a powder-coated steel, so it is a much heavier, burlier unit, whereas this one is a stainless steel casing. Even the top, I believe, is aluminum, so it's just a little bit of a lighter weight package. Both of them have little flip-out legs on the bottom that elevate it a little bit more as you pick it up. So same thing with both of those. I'm also going to point out both of these are incredibly dirty. The main reason is we use the hell out of them. So as I mentioned, not only are they a little bit different visually, the construction is a little bit different. The other thing is the burner on the interior is a little bit different. Before I get down to that burner, both of them have space to hold their hose on the interior of the casing. But the Firecan Standard has kind of an H-shaped burner, whereas the Elite, it's a big, long oval. I believe the Elite casts a little bit more of a natural campfire look, where this one looks a little bit more like a propane stove running. Now, in addition, a couple other differences to these. There is an external hookup on these where the propane feed line will hook up to them. You'll notice on the Standard that propane hookup is on one of the wider sides right down the center, Whereas on the Elite, it's on the narrow end. In addition, that is where the controller for your flame adjust sits. Where on the Standard, you just have a propane hookup, and then you control your propane flow through a valve on the gas line itself. Now, I don't have a huge preference to where that propane monitoring level lives. That's not really a big deal, but I will tell you, one of the biggest reasons why I upgraded from this model to this model is actually where that propane hookup comes out of. On these units, they have grates on either side on the wide side, but on the narrow side, it's a solid edge. So you're bound to get a little bit less heat flowing out of those narrow ends as you are the wide ends. On the Standard model, if I were to use the Quick Connect propane hookup and hook it into place and then run it away for me to hook up to my propane line, there's ultimately a cord or a hose coming out of one of the sides where two people might want to sit on either side of it. Whereas on this unit, you can run your propane out and away on the narrow side and really get two chairs or stand nice and close to the Elite model without having that one more thing to trip over or be in the way of your use of the campfire. Now, the other difference that really differentiates the Standard from the Elite, other than that burner design and where your fuel line comes in, comes down to the output of these units. Now, the Standard, they rate to about 38,000 BTU on high, whereas the Elite is about 30%, a little bit more than that, greater output. They rate a little bit over 50,000 BTU on this one. 38,000, frankly, is plenty, but on the really cold nights, if you're in a rig that doesn't have heat that you're going into, like my truck camper, I really want the hottest flame as possible to stay nice and warm before settling into my cold camper for the night. That's where the Elite is nice and handy from that standpoint, to just have that extra warmth. I also think that it's nice to make a larger flame for if you're using it as a gathering point. This one's great for two people. You do have to deal with that hose output, where this is a little bit more versatile. But fundamentally, the cool thing about it, whether you get the Standard or the Elite, they both operate like a really cool portable fire pit. Now, for lighting these, you will hook up your propane to your propane tank, screw in your Quick Connect with your fuel tank right into the side of it, and all you have to do is turn on your knob and grab a lighter or a match, put it down the little lighting hole on the side, and boom, you have flame ripping. I'm not gonna light it because I'm indoors currently, but I'll put in some little clips here and there of us using the Firecan out and about. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is propane. Now, these are just fired off of standard propane tanks. So whether that is a smaller 5-pound canister like this, or you head over to the propane exchange in front of a Walmart on the road and pick up a tank that's 15 pounds, it's all the same like standard grill connector on the end of this canister. Now, Ignik sells some really neat propane canisters. My personal sizes that I like to use with these fire cans are either a 5-pound tank that looks like this, pretty small in size, or a 10-pounder that looks like this. These are not Ignik tanks because I already owned tanks ahead of purchasing Ignik products myself. But we do have some Ignik propane tanks available on OutThereVans.com. We have as small as a 3.8-pound tank, which is a little bit smaller than this 5-pounder. We do have a 5-pounder available, and we do have a 10-pounder available. And Ignik, if you purchase some of their tanks, they have these beautiful little carrying cases too that just keep your tank from getting roughed up, banged around, or even dented as it's rolling around in your rig. Just makes it a safer spot to be able to, you know, protect it and then cinch it down to keep that thing locked and loaded for the road. Now tell us what you think. Would you use a portable propane fire pit? And if you were choosing between an Ignik Standard or an Ignik Elite fire can, which one would you choose? You can let us know down in the comment section down below. If you have any questions about these products, you can write them also down in the comment section or head over to OutThereVans.com. use our contact form, shoot us a message, and we will get back to you to answer any questions we can. As always, we hope you like this video. Hit subscribe so you can see other products or projects coming out of our workshop here in Grand Junction, Colorado. And we hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching today.